Hi, this is Honeymoth Tarot. Today I'm going to be filming a pick a card reading. I'm going to do 3 piles and I'm going to shuffle them now. Obviously, if you want to, you can skip this part because I'm going to put it in the comment section. Yeah, let's get started. So pile 1. Pile 1. Do that one. That's pile 1. Pile 2. Pile 2. Pile 2. Just maybe 1 or 2 more for pile 2. And then pile 3. And maybe 1 or 2 more for pile 3. Okay, so these are the 3 piles, 1, 2 and 3. You can either pause this video and meditate on which pile you feel drawn to, or now I'm going to add some crystals as well to help you guys pick. Okay, so I've added the crystals. I'll give you a close-up of these. So this is the red agate mushroom. This is the orange selenite mushroom. And then this is the moss agate mushroom. Hi pile 1, so you chose the red agate mushroom. Okay, cool. Let me get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, you could be, or you might be dealing with a Virgo or a Libra or an Aries. Okay, so I get at this time you might be isolating yourself just so that you can make some sort of decision, because there's a lot of swords energy. But I think you might be like having a bit of difficulty making the decision, just because the Knight of Wands is quite flighty. He's not really like grounded in a particular decision. He kind of goes back and forth. I'm getting that, like, because there's 3 major arcana, I'm getting that this is like quite an important decision. However, just be wary with the 9 of Swords that you're not making yourself anxious or like ill from overthinking things. Yeah, I'm getting this might be some sort of decision to like leave a controlling person, because sometimes the Emperor can be a controlling figure. I'm getting the phrase, just because these 2 are sitting on thrones, I'm getting there's like a lot of stagnancy, and you feel like, well, you might be feeling like you have your hands tied behind your back, like you don't really have much control in what happens. Or you feel like that control has been taken away from you. I'm just getting like with the Justice card that you might be, I don't know, I feel like this is someone that's like really fair and balanced and wants to do the right thing. Whereas this person is kind of doing things for power rather than out of love. And I'm just interested in the fact that these 2 are facing away from justice. So maybe somebody's turned a blind eye to something, like someone's so in denial that something unjust is going on. I'm getting as well with the Knight of Wands that this person might be a bit immature. Like they kind of say things in the heat of the moment, like out of anger. Okay, let me get you guys an oracle card just on some sort of advice on how to kind of deal with this. I get an oracle card for pile 1. Death and rebirth. Yeah, I definitely think that you definitely could be leaving someone. Or it could be just like the death of a relationship. But the thing is, with the death and the rebirth card, it's more about how endings bring about new beginnings, and how kind of every ending in your life, whether it's like super painful, any kind of loss, is also a gain as well, because from that you've learnt from those experiences and then you get to create new experiences. Might also be dealing with a Scorpio, just because their kind of energy is death and rebirth. Okay, let me get you another one just because, I don't know, I feel like getting another one. I'm also just like looking at this little frog. I don't know whether you guys can see it. But the way that his head is tilted is kind of, I don't know whether you've got like a friend or like a family member that's, that you've spoke to them about your problems, and then when you kind of tell them that you're leaving them or that you guys broke up, they're like, oh, well, I told you they were horrible, or I told you that you deserve better. It's given me like that kind of vibe. Not in a horrible way, just like a, I don't know, sometimes like our friends and family members, like the ones that really love us, in my opinion anyway, tell us things that we don't necessarily want to hear, but we need to hear them. I've got 2. Knowledge and youth. Yeah, I mean, you guys might have been lovers since you were like kids. Or they're like a high school sweetheart kind of thing. Or, like I said, with the Knight of Wands, about them being immature, they could be quite childish in the way that they behave or communicate or don't communicate. And then we've got the knowledge card as well. Which, I don't know, the way that he stood kind of reminds me of the Hermit a bit. So I think, like, through your contemplation, you are going to realise that you do deserve better than this situation. And I'm also finding it interesting how the light is within the lantern, whereas the light is coming out of his hand in this one. So I think rather than looking for the light of knowledge and inner joy, you're creating it yourself. Like you might really start getting into working with your hands, you know, like creating art, or you might be like an engineer or just someone that works with their hands. You might be doing gardening. Just something to help ground you a bit more. With all of this swords energy, I just think there's a lot of contemplation and like mental turmoil. Also interesting how there's wolves on both of these cards as well. Which, I mean, I guess like wolves are known for being in packs. So maybe perhaps spend time with friends, family, you know, people that like really love you. Also just noticing as well there's like three males that are carrying staffs. So there is definitely some sort of emphasis on a journey that you're going through. And I also feel like I know that staffs are sort of like a form of like a way of displaying like stature. But when these people are walking, they're kind of using the staffs for like physical support, and I feel like you are supporting yourself at this time, but you also need to like not be too proud to ask for help, or at least like confide in people, that you don't have to deal with this on your own. Okay, I think that's it. Bye. Hi, pile 2. So you chose the orange selenite mushroom. Let's get into it. Okay, so immediately I'm getting that this is centered around family. With the Ten of Cups and then the Hierophant, because the Hierophant is about tradition. I'm getting that you might be dealing with either a Taurus or an Aquarius. There's also 2 5s and 2 aces. So 5s are to do with change. It's usually quite chaotic, imbalanced change. So there might be some sort of loss within your family. Whether that's some sort of separation or like physical loss. And maybe getting that if you have recently lost someone, that they communicate with you in your dreams. And I'm thinking as well with the Hierophant that you might be carrying on traditions from family members that have passed. I'm just thinking maybe I know that obviously grief and loss is a very indescribable, horrible thing. But just maybe not try not to dwell on the past too much. Just with the 5 of Cups. Just because he's kind of focused on the things that are no longer there, rather than what he actually has, like the 2 cups stood up behind him. And maybe like try and focus on like the good memories that you have with that person. I'm getting that there's some sort of wish that you have. Maybe there were like words that you wanted to say to this person before they passed, and you weren't able to. You weren't able to say how you felt. But I think with the star card that this person knew how you felt. So just try not to beat yourself up. And I'm getting as well from the loss, you might be receiving some sort of inheritance with the Ace of Pentacles. Or perhaps the way that this person, the way that this person passed on, maybe it's led for you to focus on your health a bit more. I'm getting here, like, I know I don't know, it's hard to hear these things when you are grieving, but try and be grateful for what you do have, you know, the people that do love you. Because what you have is wonderful, you know, with the 10 of Cups. That's just like the happy family card. I'm gonna get you guys an oracle card. Some sort of advice. Okay. 7 of Cups. I'm getting that there might be a lot of paperwork to sort out. And maybe to also try and be one with your emotions at this time. Allow yourself to grieve, you know? These two came up for pile 1, which is very strange. I did shuffle the deck. But yeah, that's really weird. Yeah. Also, don't presume that just because I've spoken about loss that this death and rebirth card means like a physical death. It doesn't. It means like a metaphorical death, like a new beginning kind of thing. I don't know, like whether they have this where you're from, or whether it's just sort of something that's in my family. But my family always says that when when there's a death in the family, it's always one in and one out. So when somebody dies, there's a baby usually on the way. So maybe from this loss and this tragedy, there might be a pregnancy, whether that's you or a family member, someone you know. Maybe with the knowledge card, you might be receiving grief counselling, or that might be the advice, or at least just something to look into, because it is just such a complex thing to deal with. I'm getting as well with the loss, starting to create things might help you sort of to not feel so like empty and so focused on things that you are, things that you've lost. So if you're creating things, you're essentially giving birth to things. You know, there's life in death. Okay, I think that's it. Bye. Hi, pile 3. So you chose the moss agate mushroom. Let's get into this. I'm getting that you're holding on to something that you need to let go of. There's a lot of overwhelm. But you will definitely be able to do it with the strength card. Because the strength is about using your mental will to be able to conquer your inner demons. You could also be dealing with a Leo, or you might be a Leo. Sagittarius as well. I'm getting that you might be worrying about something that you don't necessarily need to worry about, which I know is easier said than done. But there's just all of this like fixating on a problem or something that you think is going to go wrong. And then you have like this wonderful energy of like conquering your inner demons, this inner peace, like this tranquility. And then this kind of like the Four of Wands is about unity, celebration, being with the people that you love. But I think at the moment it might feel really like sluggish, like you're stuck in the mud, that you can't quite move past something for whatever reason. Yeah, and as well with the moon card, you might be just experiencing things that you haven't really been thinking about. They kind of start to crop up, like your subconscious is kind of making you aware of things that you don't want to think about, or things that you haven't thought about in years. But, you know, it's your decision whether you let your subconscious, like your inner fears, like your shadow self, like take over, or whether you like take hold of it. think there's defo an emphasis on self-compassion. And you might be like worrying or like obsessing, like ruminating over something that like might be mixed up. Like maybe you or someone you know has like misinterpreted something that someone said. Or they've like read into something. But my advice would be just to have an honest conversation, you know, just ask someone what they really mean. And ultimately it's their decision whether they give you the truth or not, you know. I got don't assume people's feelings. Okay, let me get you guys some oracle cards. Okay. Seven Wands in choice. Yeah, I think I literally said, didn't I? It's your choice whether you let the subconscious and the shadow self kind of take over, or whether you you grab it by the horns and you overcome it. And the wonderful thing is about choice is that, you know, it's yours. It's you know, you don't have to do what people say, because ultimately it's your life. You might be seeing snakes a lot as well, just because both cards have got snakes in. You might be into like witchcraft as well, just because the bowl here, I just see it as a scrying bowl. I'm thinking that you're kind of reflecting on maybe your own part that you have in your anxiety or your overwhelm. Obviously, I mean, if someone is like triggering you, then that's not necessarily your fault for their actions. However, it is your responsibility, I guess, to deal with those triggers. I'm getting as well with the cats that you might need to set boundaries with yourself or with this person. I'm getting as well, if you are overwhelmed, to have a good cry if you feel like it, you know. Because I'm just getting like the fact that she's like reaching for her throat and the fact that his chest is covered, I'm just getting that you might feel like you have to keep your emotions in. But the thing is, it's not a sustainable way of being a human, I guess, because we have to feel, you know? That's like the gift of being human. I just want to get one more because this Seven of Wands is kind of, I don't know. I just want a bit more info, that's all. What more in this Seven of Wands? That's came out for the other two readings as well. That's really strange. Okay. So, my advice would be, if you are feeling overwhelmed or you tend to suppress feelings, to maybe seek out a counsellor or a therapist, you know, someone that you can actually talk to. Obviously, I know that not everyone can afford that. So maybe a family member or a close friend, you know, someone that you trust. Talk to someone, you know, because a problem shared is a problem halved, I believe, is the saying. I'm thinking, like, all this worry that you have, like, someone might give you some information that then leads you to not have to worry as much. You might be, like, going to a doctor's appointment, or you might think that there's something wrong with your body, and you're kind of worrying and potentially making yourself more ill in the process. But just my advice is to not Google symptoms, first off, and then seek professional help, you know, because worrying isn't gonna, it's not gonna fix anything, it's not gonna change anything. There's also apples in both of these cards, which is obviously like a symbol for knowledge. Might also be that you're eating a bit healthier as well. Or a hint to have, to sort of try and develop a healthier mindset, like a healthier way of looking at things, rather than catastrophizing and ruminating on stuff. Okay, I think that's it. Bye.